Latin America, an exotic land full of mysteries, colorful animals waiting to be caged and sold, mountains begging to be dug into, dark-skinned people yearning to be converted, civilized, infected, and put to work, rich rainforests made by God to be cut down. It truly is a land of abundance and beauty. A land without limits. Oh, wowie. What is that? That's the Aztec Empire. It's also known as the Triple Alliance. Potential consumer, I want to be made aware. Why is it the Triple Alliance if the Aztec is just one word? That's easy. It's because it's an alliance between the Mexico Tenochtitlan, the Texcoco, and the Tlacopan. That is an impressive amount of land. But what exists within it? Well, it isn't very relevant to the AP curriculum due to the fact that it deals with the Americas. But, in brief, there's a Nahua religion, which they use to rule by, define right, and justify militaristic political stylings. They also have something way more interesting. Something that you, the buyer, can use for extremely cheap whenever you want to justify the idea that all of the people who lived here were savages. It's called human sacrifice, and it's the answer to one of life's greatest questions. Have you ever wondered what it's like to kill someone? Does the thrill of controlling another person's fate seem enthralling to you? Well, under the Triple Alliance, you can experience the extremely spiritual ritual of human sacrifice. All this spiritual stuff is too pagan and unappealing. You can get a slave and murder them brutally as punishment for failing to slave away at gold that they're too tired to get and that they can't profit off of, or for resisting conversion. And you can get away with it because of your superior skin color. If you're someone who thinks slavery is too immoral, we have a special deal. You can always just enter a city and massacre it, and then pretend like nothing was ever there in the first place. It's not like the indigenous people can build anyway. But wait, there's more oversimplifications of cool stuff. The Texcoco had a leader called Nezahualcoyotl. He wrote a law code that dished out some super hardcore punishments, thus establishing true social control. The Tenochtitlan had a leader named Moctezuma I. He established a system of appellate and supreme courts for his people. The two of them worked together and made a double aqueduct pipe system. Hello, Nezahualcoyotl.
Hello, Moctezuma I.
What's up with you?
You know, same old. How have you been, good old friend?
I've been thinking.
You have?
Yes.
What have you been thinking about Moctezuma I?
Well, Nezahualcoyotl, I am glad you asked. I think I should build an aqueduct pipe system for my people. Two of us building one, that'd be weird.
Well, I think you are a genius, Moctezuma I. I say, you go for it. But I have a better idea. We should build it together and we will have a dual aqueduct. And the aqueduct dog seems to be in agreement.
A dual aqueduct? Like two? With two people?
2 for the price of 1 dog.
That's such a good idea, Nezahualcoyotl. We
Right.
really are the greatest minds of our region.
Moctezuma I, I really had no doubt that you would be the greatest.
The Aztecs, like many other South American indigenous, had professional merchants and a highly organized trade system. They conquered Totonacapan as a very deliberate economic measure. Totonacapan is poppin' with luxuries. It is a great place to farm not only the typical South American stuff, such as maize, manioc, squash, beans, pumpkins, chili peppers, zapotes, guavas, papayas, plantains, and avocados. Also stuff like liquid amber, cotton, cocoa, rubber, fruits, and cotton. And you can even hunt sharks, turtles, sharks, deer, armadillos, possums, sharks, frogs, and sharks. It would be really cool to hunt sharks. But what's the public's verdict on shark hunting? We called in a real people, not actors, to find out.
Hi, I'm the public, and I'm pro shark hunting.
But if you don't like hunting, that's cool too. These South Americans keep pet dogs and turkeys.
There's no place like Totonacapan.
There's also this other guy, not in Totonacapan but Tenochtitlan, and his name is Moctezuma II. He was very cool, but he suffered from death by Hernan Cortez. A similar thing happens in the form of an ambush in 1532 when the Inca ruler Atahualpa gets dead by Francisco Pizarro. But never mind about all that. Are you the artsy type? The Huastec have some dope statues. The Taino also have some radical stuff going on. But if intellectual stuff razzes your berries, then you'll be pleased to hear about the advanced astronomy and mathematics of which many groups were capable. Are the Aztecs not your type? The Purépecha are one of an extremely minimal number of groups in Latin America that were not conquered by the Aztecs. In fact, there's no written record of the Aztecs even defeating the Purépecha in battle, even once, ever. The Purépecha have step pyramids in the shape of a T, which stands for terrific, which is what all of Latin America is and why it's the best place ever. They also have metal ores, which they use to do epic metallurgy and copper smithing. They've got hummingbird feathers, which they use to make gorgeous feather mosaic. And best of all...
Are you a woman? Well, they've got feminism too sometimes.
Princess Arandira was 16 or 17 years old when she led her people into battle against the Spanish using horses stolen from the Spanish. But Spanish, sometime after that, led themselves into battle using 10,000 Indians stolen from the South American natives. That's what the Latin Americans call an epic victory royale. But since this is a land without limits, you may be looking for something more. You may be looking for some real epic gamers, like the Mixtec. They made scary mosaic masks out of turquoise. They were also known for a pre-Columbian warlord named 8-Deer Jaguar Claw, who's pictured here. Now that I've demonstrated that pre-Columbian Latin America was rich in cultural diversity and capable of complex development in each of the P satire categories without white people holding their hands through it, I will move fully on to the moment that the College Board has been waiting for. White people appear! Now what makes white people so great? I'm a scientist who's been tasked with answering the question. For purposes of this infomercial, which is sponsoring my research, the best thing is that they prove that Latin America really is good for everything that was previously claimed to be, because they passionately exploited it for actually everything that it has. I am 100% confident in your ability to read this yourself. But maybe guava